So on the way to work, night shift. The strike. You know, I was hearing something online saying that, you know, they already make enough money and people are more talking about what they make and everything like that. But what I'm more or less, as a 12-year veteran truck driver, I'm more interested in the obvious advantage that these port workers got from collective bargaining, from having a union. So if we look back at when we lost our unions and how our pay has stagnated, even went backwards, and theirs kept going up and up and up, it makes a pretty good case for unions. That's what it makes, a pretty good case for unions. So whether you're a truck driver that's anti-union or not, it is safe to say that we have lost as truck drivers from not having a union. An average truck driver driving today, if they're local, the average one, they're making $48,000 to $58,000 a year. Truck drivers back in the day, for if you adjust for inflation, they're at about $100,000 a year for inflation. Now we're down to 48 to 55. Our benefits are it is terrible. Should be illegal. These companies have done whatever they wanted to do with us because we don't have collective bargaining. Here we are, these port strikers, you know, they woke up at 100 plus, 200 plus and thought, I need to strike. We're driving at 60, 70, 80, nothing. I seen a thing where a dude was like, companies are starting to have their stuff come through Canadian and Mexican ports and rely more on rail and trucks. And I say, well, that helps truckers out better. You know, if I'm looking at this from only thinking of myself, that helps truckers out better. These ports never thought of us when they were collective bargaining and getting up to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. I ask another question that could be from ignorance, I admit. Is our stagnating wages because the companies are paying, or the industry is paying their high wages? Is that what it is? Well, they say, well, they're so important. We're important too. We're the last mile. The port would not empty if we weren't there. Even if, we'll put it on rail. Okay, when it gets to the rail yard, who's gonna pick it up? Who's gonna pick it up? Their wages have been going up and ours have been going down. Is it wrong for me to think, is ours going down because theirs are so bloated? This is just a question. You know? Yeah, they're making good money. They getting a 60%, 70% freaking raise. How are they going to get a 70% freaking raise and we get nothing? Who is the port releasing the load to? They're releasing the load to us. They're releasing the load to us. So why only the rail people have unions and the port people have unions, but the truckers don't have unions? Why are we excluded? Why don't we have a cushy pension? It's just a good question. Now, I'm not trying to get on either side. I'm just asking questions. Why? What makes these port guys... And here's another thing about the port shit. Why are they on TV trying to get our support? These port places are notorious for not hiring. Every person I've asked every person around the Hampton Roads. I've asked them in Texas. I said, well, why don't you work at the port? They say you can't get in. So why are we supporting a union which historically hardly hires anybody? They're not hiring enough people to make a difference. What about the 2 million CDL holders in the middle of the country that don't have a union? We're supposed to just keep having bad health, shitty pay, and all that stuff, and then we're supposed to come and support you? No. Right? Am I thinking crazy here? So y'all get this 70% raise, everything goes back to normal. What happens to us? What happens to us? We're supposed to just be happy you got 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 a year? Get out of here, man. Why should I care either way? Why is this being pushed upon me as a truck driver? It's just a question. It's just a question. Union port people, tell me how you getting a 70% raise affects me in the middle of the country driving a truck. How does it? Well, it doesn't. But well, then I don't care, because you didn't care the last 30, 40 years as y'all were getting raises. You didn't care that the truckers were going in the ground. So are you an enemy of mine or a friend of mine? That's the question. You just gave them loads off knowing these guys weren't getting paid. You didn't care. All you cared about was you going up. So you got to ask yourself, I'm not a dock worker because A, you wouldn't hire me. Let's get that out of the way. You had no use to hire us, so it's whatever. We're not dock workers. We're truck drivers, CDL holders, driving across country. What about us? Is inflation not affecting us? And why should we be there to help you take more money out of the pie when we're not getting any? That's my question to the union and dock workers. Explain it to me. That's it.